Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing, Justin?
Doing really good. Hey, thank you for doing this. Appreciate it, Ty.
You welcome, man. It's my first one I've done, so it's cool, man.
I've done
Yeah.
probably about 10 of them so far, so I'm starting to get in the swing of things. But again, thanks for being here. This is Tyrone Williams, a former coworker of mine. We used to work together at the International College of Broadcasting, and Tyrone is still there. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about some videos that he's done called Vidjeo and his future ideas that he has. So, your platform is really cool. You call it a platform of creation of new ideas. And you know, how many have you done? How many videos have you done, just to give people a perspective of your experience?
Um, we up to Vidjeo 107 now. This past Saturday was, for lack of a better word, episode or session
Right.
or recording 107. So, yeah, very happy about that. Hit that 100 episode milestone. It was cool, man. And really feel good about it. Very good about it. Yeah.
And when is that during the week?
Well, Vidjeo is every Saturday at 7. Well, now it's 7:07 p.m. It was just like one of those in the moment inspirations. And in the spirit of Vidjeo, like we talking creativity, new ideas. One day I was coming in hot on Vidjeo, and so I didn't start until 7:07. I looked at the clock and realized it was 7:07. And I have a thing with these sevens, man. So the next following week, I decided we're going to change the start time to 7:07 p.m. And and just added to it. But it's every Saturday, 7:07 p.m. live. We just go live about 20 to 30 minutes, and I just talk about some observations, thoughts, and that's it, man. Yep. Every Saturday at 7 p.m., 7:07.
You deliver such a good vibe on those videos. How do you choose your music?
Good question. Well, really, the music is it's a collaboration in a sense. My guy Rick, he's out of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Mind you, we met back in 1990. This is the power of hip hop culture, and we were in the military station in Germany. I was in a different unit, but we were like in the same barracks. And so, in the spirit of that, when I after work, I would get on my music, make music, and then when I met Rick, he was like, "You in the hip hop too?" Yeah. And he's a graffiti artist. He does art, airbrush, and he's really like phenomenal. And we started hanging out. He would come down to my room, and I would spin records, and Rick would just paint, and we, it was just hip hop, listen to music. And so we remained friends. I said I'd like to say, the power of hip hop culture, arts, creativity, and we still great friends to this day. So Rick is the one who produces the vibes, and we just talk about different things, and he'll hit me up and say, "Man, I think I got something. I can hear you talking over this." And so it's typically, I'm typically in that space of laid back, kind of chill music, but I do like a little bit of attitude in it as well, And so that's pretty much how we do it. And sometimes it is a mood thing, Sometimes I want the beat to hit a little harder, but I don't really overjudge the music, to be honest. Rick will send me something, and some vibes like, okay, I can see this been nice little filler, but for the most part, the vibe is there. I think because of our connection, and I just run with it. I try not to over critique it, and just run with it, man. That makes sense. So
I'm a music guy, so that's one of the first things I noticed. And the way that you pause in between certain sections, I think is really clever, and so that collaboration works really well. I want to mention something too, real quick. My wife Sarah, she lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina, for a while, and her dad was in the army. You there?
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. My father-in-law was in the army, and he was stationed in Germany as well. So I thought that both things are that's crazy to me. We never knew that. But yeah, music is a great setting, I think, that you have. But also your topics are really, really on point. You talk about a lot of great ideas. I want to bring up a few of them. Talk to me about your concept for like when to play, because I heard that on one of your videos, and I really enjoyed what you were saying.
But when to play, it was the idea is, so often, throughout over the years, you hear about the idea about, people play to win, and even sometimes the negative connotation of winning, like winning isn't everything, but it's a compelling component. It is the compelling component of any sport, competition, or whatever. I mean, it's not a permanent status in life. You know, somebody win the championship in 2019, and then somebody else gets it in 2020.
Right.
You know, but in the spirit of reaching down, like, I don't know, just a kind of a play on words and a play on context. You know, like the social context of playing to win. But in order to, the idea of win to play is, you know, growing up playing a lot of, you know, pickup basketball. I remember being on the court, like, as you got better, you know, we go to bigger courts, you know, more competition, and you come and you got your, you know, it's 5 guys, and let's say it's 10 other teams out there, and you're waiting for your turn to get on the big court and play where everybody's watching. And so you wait all that time, you finally get on the court. And because because of the love of basketball, I love to play basketball. When I played heavily, I just loved to play. It wasn't for money. I wasn't, you know, it was just playing for the sport of it. But the catch to it is, if you want to continue to play, you on the court, you want to stay on the court, you have to win. And so we weren't playing for money. You know, you could say bragging rights, but we were playing so we can we were winning so we can continue to play the game. If that makes sense. So it's really that spirit of, you know, it's okay to win, because you know, when you win, it puts you in position to come and play again and again, in a sense. So again, that's kind of like the gist of that idea.
Well, building confidence for sure. Is losing still okay in the concept of win to play?
Say it again.
Is losing okay in that concept of win to play? Do you think losing can be a good thing?
Well, I think it's a part of the process, because you're gonna lose, and, you know, say, to get to that point where you are consistent in your efforts, like, you know, you get on the court or whatever your art is, and you quote unquote win. You know, it takes effort, it takes skill, so you're gonna have to put the work in. You know, I have to put the work in order to get to that point, and you know, like, say, to win to play, if you will. And for example, when I get out there, you wait that period of time, and then you get out there and lose that first game, and now you got to wait another 30 minutes to get another chance at it. And, you know, it's like, come on, we got to get a plan together. Yeah. So I think losing is a part of it, because it helps us to make corrections and to improve. It compels us to get better.
Yeah, it brings me back to the entertainment industry and how that win to play is so important, because in order to get your foot in the door, you already have to have something in hand. You already have to, you know, for example, if you want to have a movie made, you want to make sure that that script is done and something deliverable that you can show, or you've got nothing. But you know, on a side note, I love basketball. I'm terrible at it, but it's one of the most enjoyable sports to play, in my opinion. So, but yeah. What kind of new ideas have you come up with recently? You have an idea called Drive.
Yes.
Talk to me about Drive.
Again, Drive was similar to how, kind of like in the same vein of, like, let's say, win to play. These are kind of like thoughts that just come from just random observations. And, you know, it's not like I'm always just sitting around just like, okay, I need a new idea. Right. You know, it's just the synthesis of life. I'll hear something, see something, and it's like a flash, it'll click. And just that quick, it's like, hey, man, this could be that. And so I guess I'm so compelled by it, I'm so excited about it, I get caught up and come up with that whole process of ideas, because the way that sometimes it just comes, it's like it's like I'm minding my own business, and then the idea just pops in the head.
Yeah.
You know, so the idea of Drive is, you know how, like, in your car, when you put the logo is, like, the idea would be a D with the gear shifter, when you got the little selector around the drive gear.
Right.
And I know the old school cars had like a little rectangle around, a little square around it.
Yeah.
And so I could see the logo being something to that fashion. But the idea is simple. I mean, it's drive. Like, we talk about personal drive. That is one of the keys to success in anything we do. You know, that the ability to go forward and to have that persistent drive, and, you know, even to mash the gas and go harder, and like, it's that drive. But within the car also, obviously, you know, in order to go forward, you have to put the car in drive, and that is the gear for going forward. And so, in this essence, the idea of Drive with this, I could see it as a clothing line. You know, as a professional clothing line, it's a play on the word of, you have to have drive to be successful.
Yep.
But also, it is also the gear, as in gears and clothes. So it's a play on words. So the name is Drive, and then the tagline is the gear for success.
Yeah,
it's pretty, you know, it just makes sense, you know. And when I share, like, for example, when I share an idea like that on Vidjeo, it's because I think I mentioned this a couple of times, and if somebody here say, you know what, I'm gonna try that, and somebody decide to run with it, I mean, hey, that's what I shared it for, to be honest.
Yeah.
And will I do something with it? Possibly. But I know, I mean, we all have thousands of ideas, and I don't like keeping ideas suppressed, like, oh, you can't talk about it unless you're doing something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like, okay, this is my substitute conversation and I'd rather talk about ideas and the dynamics of ideas and how we come up with them. I mean, there's room for everything else, politics, religion, family and everything else, but that's just how my mind works, man. And I just, it's kind of, it's just what it is.
I respect
so that's
it.
The concept of drive, the gear for success.
I respect it greatly because I would much rather talk about those types of things than religion and politics and all the other things that you mentioned. And speaking it into existence, that was something that a lot of students would bring up. Should I even talk about it? Because if I talk about it, then maybe I'm not going to have the energy or effort to actually put it into fruition or making it happen. But that's not always the case. I think the biggest problem, the biggest barrier that I've discovered is money, having the money and the backing to do it. And unfortunately, it's that way. I know that there was a time in this country where it was a lot easier for people to put small businesses together. Maybe now is the time because there's all these small business loans happening. But I like your ideas a lot. I think that what I relate to you and where I think about things all the time with dialogue and scenes. Like I must be really into like movies and scripts because that's something that always pops in my mind when I'm working on music. I'll create characters and develop those characters. But do you have any new ideas that you have not talked about yet?
Like for example, I'll share this. And this is not even an idea. I think this is really more of a sense of awareness, man. I've come into a sense of expanded awareness of the field of potential. And I'm not going to try to get too deep into it, but it's still fresh in the mind, but it's heavy on my mind because, the field of potential like that, we always say, oh, so you have potential and the potential of this. But looking at the field of potential as an actual, it's a quantum field. It is a quantum field. It's a place, and it's like the unformed form. And it's the place, like right now, everything is kind of like an habitual pattern. When I'm done with this, I'll go do something predictable. Go here, go there, go to the store, come home.
Yes.
And then that space of potential at any given second, any day, it doesn't have to be a special day, your birthday, a holiday. We can come, kind of like breach that habitual routine and set something in motion that unlocks a whole new series of experiences, like the commitment to like all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I'm getting to this, whatever that project is, like all of a sudden you put all your energy in the moment. I'm getting to this now. And and I think that's a big challenge because we all have ideas we're compelled to do, we want to do, but it's something about getting in that space of just unlocking that potential.
Break through the ceiling.
Visual, it's kind of like making the visualize it, making it more visual, this place of potential. Whether you think you got potential, let's say a person don't have any potential, the field of potential still exists.
Yeah.
I think that's the point. And just like I can, I have a past and the potential being the future, and just having a more, just like I have a sense of reference to the past, I think of my memories. Okay, I'm like, yeah, we have the past. It's like it is a intangible, tangible. But then this field of potential is right there. It's right here, right now. And any given second, we can tap into it and just set a whole, like I say, set things in motion, even to the point where we might even be somewhat intimidated by it. We know the power we have. We really do. We know the power we have. We know that just like the power of, what was it, 9/11, when that happened. Everybody remembers where they were. And just that quick, that shift, that paradigm shift happened so fast, and that's not, it's not undesirable. I would prefer to experience that on a more dynamic, more positive level, like a sudden, man, did you see that? Did you hear that? Did you experience that? Or, man, did you see that project Justin did? Man, oh my goodness. And you finally put it out there, something that you've been really, crafting. And once you do that, you drop in that field of potential, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
cherish the day, seize the day. I think of LeBron James when you were talking about that. He's one person that everybody started looking around and noticing, like, man, this is possible. Look at this guy. Look how young he is and how talented.